What's up, guys? It's your boy Tremel. I just wanted to say that I have a new project that's out. It's called Mixed Feelings. It's on all streaming platforms. I would hope that you would go and check it out. It's a really good feel of an album. It's got everything you need and more. It's got R&B. It's got a little bit of pop. It's got a little bit of hip hop. It's everything that you need and more. It's out all streaming platforms, like I said. Please check me out, and you can also follow me at I am underscore Tremel. That's I am underscore TRAMEL. Check me out. I hope to hear from you.
What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, now before we get into today's review, yes, I am not on screen right now. I'm just now waking the fuck back up. I just got home about maybe 2 hours ago. I took myself a nap and I went and I watched Love and Marriage Huntsville. So right now I have not been refreshed yet. Okay, I just got back home from my cousin house. So we had a time last night. We had a time last night. But anytime I get with my family, we always have a time. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this video just like this, and then the next video that I do is probably gonna be a live yes for the miss. I'm really going back and forth about a live yes for the miss today. I think I'm gonna go live before the Real Housewives of Atlanta comes on or whatnot for a live one. But before we get into today's review, let's talk about what we got coming up this week. Now we got the Whether You Like It or Not panel, which is up first. Okay. The Whether You Like It or Not panel will be Tuesday night on Josiah's World TV's channel at 9:15 Eastern Time. Well, we will be discussing the Real Housewives of Atlanta as well as Bill Collective, so be on the lookout for that. On Wednesday night would be Roast and Review. Me, T, and Josiah, we will be roasting and reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville on Wednesday night on Giving You the Real T's channel at 8/7 Central Time, so be on the lookout for that. And also on Friday night, we'll be back for Boys Night Out for the fourth episode, as you will see your favorite quintet come back for a bunch of laughs, giggles, shade, real talk, and just everything under the sun. So be on the lookout for Boys Night Out this Friday night at 8 Central Time, okay? So without any further ado, let's get into the review. Now, as you guys already know, that last week's episode was not all that to me. They was at the retreat, and I ain't really care about all that, and they still at the retreat this time, but I think that this episode was a little bit better than last week's episode. We opened it up with everybody calling out. Well, with Lewis, well, not Lewis. What's the doctor's name? Dr. Francis calling out Tiffany and Lewis. At this particular point, everybody got a problem with Tiffany and Lewis, mainly because of the simple fact that Tiffany and Lewis have had a whole lot to say about relationships. They act like they're relationship gurus at this particular point, and they don't seem to like to be criticized, but they like to give criticism out to everybody else about their marriages, and everybody seems to take a little bit of joy and delight in it. More so, Marceau. He's enjoying all of the smoke that Dr. Francis is giving the Whitlows because he felt directly attacked by the both of them, especially Lewis, especially at the reunion, and he didn't appreciate it. So now that Dr. Francis is giving Tiffany and Lewis their work, he's enjoying every second of, he's basking in the afterglow of them getting this spy from Dr. Francis. And I mean, hey, I guess I could say who could blame them, because they did kind of come for his neck all last season. They came for everybody's neck. They had a lot to say about everybody's marriages, honestly. So it wasn't just Marceau's marriage that was being talked about. It was everybody's marriage that was being talked about, honey. But they seem to be, you know, they seem to be happy about it. I mean, Marceau is the main one. Like, he is loving it. And Tiffany and Lewis is not here for the whole relationship therapist thing. They are not here for it. They don't like it. They don't like being criticized. They don't like being called out for their flaws and their faults. And that's only because they probably feel like they ain't really got no flaws and no faults. They really don't think that they do, but they honestly do. They're just like everybody else. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their faults, but they're the type of people that don't want to own up to their fault, to their flaws or their faults. That's just what it is. So yeah, that's where they're at with it. And yeah, they're gonna have to get over it because if they got the right to point the finger at everybody else and call them out for what they see, then this therapist who is licensed to do so can do the same thing to them. So the next day they're having breakfast. I think Marceau prepared the breakfast for everybody, and Lewis came in, and Marceau was asking him questions about how he felt about Dr. Francis going in on them. As usual, Messy Marceau being messy as fuck, okay? Because he don't really give a damn. He's just happy that they came at them. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. He's happy that they're getting what they were giving him. Because Marceau don't like for nobody to talk about his marriage at all. You know what I'm saying? Him nor Tisha. They don't like for nobody to come for their marriage, but they can sit up and talk about everybody else's. You know what I mean? But okay, get your delight from somebody else getting going, getting drug or whatever you want to call it. But Lewis doesn't seem to be phased about this. He don't seem to really care. He seemed pretty unbothered by the situation. He doesn't seem like he's bothered. He doesn't seem like he cares too much, because he knows what he's here for. He knows that he's here to talk about the issues in his marriage and stuff like that. But in my mind, I just feel like, even though he says that, he still is bothered, because at the end of the day, he seemed to be bothered anytime the question was pretty much asked about his marriage, or not really the questions being asked about his marriage, but just the fact that anybody had anything to say about his marriage. It did kind of come across like he really cared a lot about it, but he doesn't seem phased. But Letitia, on the other hand, she doesn't really think that Lewis is really open to this criticism. She doesn't think that he's open to this whole process, to be honest. She don't think that he's open to it. And to be honest, I don't really think that he's open to it either. I just think that he's going along with the flow, cuz Tiffany really ain't going along with the flow. So while they're sitting down having breakfast, Lewis takes out the time to be like, now I understand how you felt, Marceau, when I had all my opinions about what was going on with you and Letitia's marriage. Now, even though he's apologizing for that, y'all, I gotta be honest and I gotta be real, and I gotta say that despite the fact that he is apologetic, he did not lie about nothing that he said about Marceau and Letitia's marriage. He didn't lie about none of that stuff, because everything that Lewis is saying, we all have said it. To me, I just feel like because people don't like Lewis and people don't like Lewis's wife and stuff like that, you know what I mean? They're not gonna own it. But he wasn't lying about anything that he ever said about Letitia and Marceau's marriage, because everything that Lewis called Marceau out about, we all been doing it, from reviewers to the fans. Everybody has been calling it out. And I think the main reason why Marceau is like loving this shit is because he's getting back what he put out there. But I'm sorry, Marceau, but I'm not really sorry, but I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say or what you believe or what you think or how you feel or how you think, how funny you think this shit might be. At the end of it all, it still don't negate the fact that he was absolutely right about what he said about you, and he was absolutely right about what he said about your marriage to Letitia. I don't care what nobody say. And I'm just curious to know what everybody in the comments are going to say about what I just said. But I'm sorry, but I don't think that nothing that Lewis said about Marceau and Letitia was wrong. He was pretty accurate in everything that he said. I know it's popular, it's a popular thing to do to not like Lewis and Tiffany, but he had a point. But he did apologize to Letitia and Marceau, because at the end of the day, it's like, I see how you felt at that moment when I had my opinions about you and your marriage to Letitia, and how you felt when I constantly had an opinion about it. And I just feel like I'm feeling the same way that you feel. Now, I don't like it when somebody's coming at me about my marriage, so I could be a man to apologize. And that is the reason why I like Lewis. I like Lewis more so than I like Tiffany. I think that Lewis has way more personality than Tiffany, and I do think that he's a man of his word, and he do own his shit. Like if Lewis is wrong about something, he would be the first to admit that he was wrong for it. And that's one thing that I can say about him, because I'm that same person. If I'm wrong, god damn it, I might not want to admit that I'm wrong, but bitch, if I'm wrong, I'm motherfucking wrong. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong, and I'm gonna say I'm wrong. So yeah, I can definitely appreciate Lewis for owning up to that, basically saying, my nigga, I was wrong. I was wrong for that. I had no business coming at you for your marriage. I had no business, putting out my opinions on your marriage and stuff like that. So, yeah, so he apologized. Although he was right in his assessment, I don't care. He was right in his assessment, but he apologized and I give him that. So then Marcel was like, well, how do you feel about a professional diagnosing y'all as fake? Because I said y'all was fake. But, how do y'all feel about, the actual doctor saying that y'all fake? And I'm just like, Marcel, if anybody's fake, you fake too. Because you want to sit up here and act like you got the perfect marriage and you the perfect husband, and we all figure that you're not. So let's not do too much. I get it. You got your get back without getting your get back, but let's not do too much, Marcel. Let's not, because you're a mess yourself. Let's not do that. So Kimmy takes out the time to call out the Whitlows, and she basically was talking about how anytime it's somebody else, y'all have a lot to say, but when somebody want to say, speak their truth or speak their opinions about the things they witness in y'all relationship, it's like y'all don't want to open up and say it. Y'all expect everybody else to be transparent, but y'all are not transparent about y'all own problems, y'all own troubles, y'all own struggles in y'all marriage, y'all own relationships. Y'all are not, open to bringing that out there, because that's going to tarnish y'all name of having this perfect ass marriage when y'all really ain't got that perfect ass marriage. Y'all just want to be looked at a specific way, and y'all don't want to own up to your own shit. And I must say that I don't disagree with Kimmy. Once again, just like Lewis was absolutely correct in his assessment of Letitia and Marceau, I definitely feel like Kimmy is definitely 100% correct in her assessment of the Whitlows. They do that. As you can see, they cannot take that this therapist is calling them out on their phony baloney. They can't handle that. And Kimmy is doubling down on it. So they can't deal with it. And that's just that on that. Now, Tiffany's feeling attacked, but Marceau and Letitia felt attacked. Everybody else felt attacked when y'all was, giving y'all 2 cents on everybody else's relationship. So, I definitely think that two truths can coexist at the same time. And I'm going to leave this segment of the show by saying two truths can coexist at the same time. If you want to know what I mean by that, Lewis was absolutely correct about what he said about Marceau. He was absolutely correct about apologizing to Marceau, because he was out of bounds. He didn't have no right. But Kimmy is also right on her assessment on Tiffany and Lewis, because I think that we all feel that way about them. Just like we all feel that way, the same way that Lewis called out Marceau and everything that he said about Marceau, we have all said that about Marceau and his treatment of Tisha in their marriage. So two truths can coexist. There's no lies being told. Everything is the truth. I can definitely say that. So we're gonna move on to this next scene with Melody and Marlene, okay? Now, Melody wants to meet up with Marlene because they're not in the best of places. There was a text message being sent after the comments that Marlene made on national TV about Melody, right? So Melody has felt some type of way about it. And now she wants to meet up with Marlene to move forward. I don't know if Melody's listening to me right now, because I just said that last week that I feel like Melody should go and talk to Marlene, only because this is someone that she cares about. You know what I mean? I definitely don't knock Melody for cutting people off. What I'm saying is, when you cut people off, you got to be all the way 100 about it. If I'm cutting you off, or if I'm keeping my distance from you, you going to know why. I'm going to keep it a book. I just don't believe in cutting people off without no notice. You going to know why you getting this work from me. You going to know why. You're definitely going to know why you getting this work from me, period. You going to know why. And I'm not going to leave you wondering. So, in Melody's case with Marlene, she doesn't necessarily have to reach out to Marlene to do anything. But if this is someone that she, absolutely cares about, because out of all these people on this show, I do think that Marlene is someone that she genuinely gives a fuck about. I don't see nothing wrong with her reaching out to her to talk about the issues at hand, because they did have a pretty solid relationship. So at this point, Melody wants to move forward, and then they start talking about the text message, and then they put the text message up there, and yada yada yada. And so, they were talking about it. Marlene said, yeah, you sent me a text message. You told me, you let me know your disdain for whatever it is that I said and all of that. So you did, you came in, you said what you said and all that stuff. So they have a clear understanding as to what was being said, why they're there, right? So then, Melody was like, yeah, because you said that I was lazy and that I was this and I was that. And you know damn well that I wasn't lazy and you know that I wasn't like this. And Marlene said, well, what I do know is he had you spoiled. I felt like Martell was out here working and doing this and then all of that stuff. And I just felt like you was lazy. That's just how I felt. She said, I was lazy. Like, you gonna really make it seem like I didn't do nothing and blah, 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 which is kind of fucked up on Marlene's side of things because it's crazy how you trying to make it seem like Martell was the only one working. Martell was the only one who was doing this. Martell was the only one making money. And then after the marriage is over, it's Martell that ain't really doing shit. And it's Melody that's doing all of the work. So it's kind of like, okay, so how are you gonna sit up here and make it seem like your son is the ultimate victim and he's not the ultimate victim in this situation? Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. Let's talk about the order. Gag order. Let's talk about the order. Let's do that. You can't say this woman was lazy and she was the one that was building up the business and the brains behind it all. Martell didn't do none of this by himself. If it wasn't for Melody, he wouldn't really have most of the stuff that he got. And this is coming from somebody that don't even care for Melody like that. Like on this show. Let's keep it a book now. We ain't finna do that. And she said, if I had 4 kids, I'd be lazy too. See, you doing too much now, Miss Marlene. See, you doing too much. And I love me some Miss Marlene. Like, I'm telling Marlene all day. But it's just some shit that you don't need to be saying. And she ain't have to say that shit to Melody now. She didn't have to go there with her. Like, if I was Melody, at that point, I probably would have got my ass up and left. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. You know what I mean? Like, no, I cannot. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. That's too much. Like Marlene was absolutely not in the right with this. She wasn't because the way that she was, trying to pull it and doing all this, like, girl, you doing too much. You doing too much, Miss Marlene. Like, you ain't got to do all that. Just say, yeah, that's how I. But at the same time, she did stand by what she said. She did. She stood firm on what she said. She had the attitude of, I said what I said. One thing about it and two things for certain. I can't be mad at somebody who stands by what the fuck they said. If she said it, she said it, and she gonna stand right on by it. And that's just what it is. Do I agree with what she said? Absolutely not. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what Ms. Marlene said at all. Absolutely, I don't. But I will respect her enough to say, okay, she stood firm in her word. She said, I said it. I ain't taking it back. I fucking said it. And that's just that on that. I can't be mad at a person for that. I just can't be. And I'm not going to be mad at her for it. She's a said what I said type of girl. And that's just dead on that. She's a I said what I said type of girl. I said it. I ain't taking it back. That's what it is. So but they decide that they're going to move forward. Melody said that, I'm going to unblock you. And then, Marlene was like, oh girl, you can keep me blocked and all this other stuff. And she said, I'm still gonna call you. We still gonna go out to eat. We still gonna do this. I think that Melody really cares for Marlene because some of that stuff that Marlene had did in that conversation, I probably wouldn't have been so accepting of it, honestly, because Marlene was kind of being condescending and kind of, being like, you know, nice, nasty in a sense. But I guess I could be happy that they moved on from it, but I don't think I would have because, Marlene, yeah, she was kind of doing a lot in that conversation. But at the same time, like I've been saying, we can't expect her to do nothing but ride for her son, whether or not he's right or wrong. Because let's be real, that's what all the mamas on this show gonna do. Miss Van gonna rock with Mel, regardless if she's right or wrong. She is because there's a lot that's been many times on this show where Melody was wrong and Van still rolled with her. Miss Wanda gonna ride with Letitia, whether she's right or wrong. And Letitia been wrong for damn near everything she's done on this show. And Miss Wanda still gonna ride for her. She told me that to my face in an interview that she don't give a damn what goes down. She's going to ride with her daughter. That's what she said now. Then you got Miss Marlene who's going to ride with her daughter, well, with her son, no matter what. So I mean, That's it. Like we can't really expect too much from her, but we can say that she could have just heard Melody out just a little bit more about her feelings and stuff like that instead of just dismissing it. But I can't I can't be mad at someone who just be like, I said what I said. I stand by what I said. I said it. Your feelings was hurt. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And it's a new day and we can move on. So long as we ain't got to go through the whole season discussing this, I'm good on it, right? So we can move on to the next thing. So we're right back outside. They're refueling at the therapy session. Lewis reveals how he deals with his losses. He deals with them by pretty much isolating himself from most things that's going on. Like he doesn't really deal with things. He pretty much isolates himself and thinks about things the way that he sees fit. And he starts crying. And in that particular instance, I really understand Lewis. He has this hardened exterior about him. He feels like what you see on the outside is not really who he is on the inside. And I definitely feel him because I have this complex about me where I'm hardened and everybody comes to me for all the answers because they don't have the answers and they feel like I got them all. And I tell people all the time that I don't have all the answers. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Very intelligent, but not all that. I'm not that smart to know everything that goes on in life. I don't have all the answers because if I had all the answers, a lot of the mistakes that I made in my life would not have been made. Trust and believe me on that. Okay. However, I deal with things the same way. Like when I feel my mental health declining, I have to disappear. I have to put my phone on do not disturb and not deal with the anxieties of the world, the anxieties of my family, the anxieties of some of my friends, the anxieties of my job, the anxieties of the world, period. It's nothing but a lot of negativity out there. And sometimes inhaling too much negativity can sometimes make you negative. And I know that I dealt with death a lot over the last year. I mean, last May I lost my uncle Ken, and then in October I lost one of my close friends from childhood, Larry. I lost him. November I lost a family friend. January I lost both my aunt and my cousin within a 2 week span. That was a whole lot for me, and it's still taking a lot of time for me to really get past it, especially my cousin Martell, because he died in January and it was so unexpected. Like he wasn't sick. He was just like maybe 3 years older than me. I'm 33. He's 36, just turned 36 in May. So that was a lot. And it's still a lot for me. Like there's a lot of big moments that have happened for me, like the Candy Burris interview that I just got. And I know that he would have been absolutely happy for me. So I had to isolate myself when that happened. I had to isolate myself when my Uncle Ken passed away. Like my Uncle Ken passed away right here in my residence. So that was a whole lot to be in the house where a person died in and you used to seeing them every day and then they just up and pass away. That was a whole lot on me. And some people just didn't understand that. But I definitely understand where Lewis comes from. I do. Letitia got emotional about her friend's death. They even showed the husband of her friend on the show or whatnot. So it was a whole lot. So just dealing with losses, people deal with losses in a different way. And sometimes we don't allow people to deal with things in the way that they want to. Some people deal with losses this way. Some people deal with losses their own way. Like people be expecting you to show emotion like all the time for every damn thing. And I don't feel comfortable showing my emotions around people. I rather not show my emotions around people because when I have shown my emotions and when I have, opened up to people and told them personal things about my life and got emotional with them, they used it as a weapon. They used it to tell people that I got emotional with them to make it seem like I was a punk ass bitch, or they used my shortcomings to make it as a key. That's why I don't trust people that much. Like, it takes me a while to give you my trust. And when I give you my trust and I feel vulnerable enough to give it to you and I tell you personal things about me and then you use it as a weapon, I can't fuck with you like that. And that's just that on that. So we move on to Martell and Marlene. Martell is working on the stuff for his wine business. He looking at that. And then Marlene tells Martell that she met up with Melody. They talked about the text message that Melody sent her. They talked about everything that was being said at the meeting, and Marlene is just happy that her and Melody are in a better place. She said at the end of the day, now that's still gonna be my girl. Now that's still gonna be my girl. It don't matter. It's still gonna be my girl regardless. You know what I'm saying? And Martell was like, yeah, sure, no problem. He's just glad that there is a happy medium here. Like, there's less family drama for the kids to have to see and deal with at this point. So, shout outs to Melody and Marlene for getting past that, because family drama is fucking draining. I gotta be honest with you. Family drama is fucking draining. I hate it with a passion. It's just not conducive. I just don't like it. Um, so what's going on here? Where we at now? So we at Tiffany and Lewis. They talk about the pain over his dad and how he felt neglected by his dad, and his dad was always too busy for him all the time. And then he, gets a little emotional about that, and he tells Tiffany, "This is why I always push for more time." There you go, Tiffany. He just told you. So why don't you take that, deal with it, and move on? Take that. I want for you to listen to your man, because he's straight up telling you why he feels the way he does about time and why he needs time with you. He's telling you that right here. So listen to what he's saying and keep it pushing. Listen to what he's saying, girl. Listen. Um Letitia and Marceau, they talk about the criticism of their marriage and how they felt about people talking about their marriage and stuff like that, and how everybody has always had some things to say. Marceau is the reason why people have criticism of your marriage. Your husband disrespects you. He shows his disrespect every time he opens his mouth. The way he treated you in the past on this show, especially with that Vegas shit when you wanted to renew your vows and he pretty much embarrassed your ass in front of everybody. Like, that wasn't cool. So if you want to get mad about the criticism in your marriage, you need to talk to your husband and tell him to treat you better. That's my thoughts on that. Kimmy and Maurice in the sex conversation. I'm glad that Dr. Francis told Maurice that it's not about you. At the end of the day, a woman has a right to what goes in and out of her damn body. Like, if she don't want to have sex right now, she don't have to. What type of world do these men live in, my brother? Like, I'm just confused, but okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, because I think that Maurice is I ain't gonna say sociopath. I think Maurice is just completely like, ugh. I thought so much of Maurice, but then again, his brother is Marceau. So what do you expect? You can't expect too much. But anyways, y'all, that was all I got for this review. I hope y'all enjoyed it, despite the fact that it's kind of late. It's gonna be late next week too, because I got a damn wedding to go to Saturday, so it's gonna be late next week too, which is why y'all haven't been able to do this, because it was in my plans to do a Love and Marriage Huntsville open panel with the Scotty Gang every Sunday afternoon before the Housewives of Atlanta. I wanted to do an open panel with you guys, have you guys, all come up and talk and chat about the show and what you guys think about every segment. We did this once before when I did my live reviews on the show, but I'm surprised he's still doing the live reviews. I don't know about doing all that, because, the Love Marriage Huntsville people go nuts a lot, okay? But anyway, just tell me how you guys feel about doing an open panel. I'm not really sure about it right now, but yeah, that's the thing with that. So with that being said, child, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. If you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my IG, and my TikTok will be in the description box below. All right, you guys, I'm out of here, and I will leave you guys with the promo from Nova Cosmetics, as well as the Queen's Corner, produced by the Thirst Trap Boys Network. I'm out of here, y'all. Until the next one, bye.